Today we're talking about your genetic self, your DNA, where it comes from, and here's the surprising part, how to change it. Most people understand from high school a basic sort of structure and function of the nuclear DNA. That is, the DNA contained within the nucleus of their cells. They understand that the purpose of DNA is to control the production of proteins. They understand that they inherit their DNA from their parents, that it can change through mutations, and some of these mutations can be induced by environmental factors. So DNA can be damaged, and people are beginning to appreciate that DNA can be changed through gene therapy. But that isn't really the point of this video. What most people don't understand is that your DNA is not the end of the story, because not all of your genes will be what's called expressed. There is another layer around your nuclear DNA that we now call the area of epigenetics. It is possible that you have genes which aren't active, which aren't expressed throughout your body, because this epigenetic layer is capable of turning genes in your nucleus on and off. So what controls the epigenetics? Well, experience. But not just your experience. For example, if you have a traumatic experience, the trauma could turn in this epigenetic layer, it could turn on or off certain genes within your DNA. But it's not just your experience. It's also the experience that you inherit from your parents. That is, your DNA is inherited, and so is this epigenetic turning on or off. The experiences that your parents had, even your grandparents or your great-grandparents, may control the expression of your genes. So we have the nuclear DNA, we have the epigenetic layer, and we're still not done. There is another set of DNA within your body. It's called mitochondrial DNA. It doesn't exist within your nucleus. It exists within your cells, particularly your brown fat cells, but the mitochondrial DNA you inherit only from your mother. It's the mitochondrial DNA that control metabolism and energy production and maybe aging. So the mitochondrial DNA is extremely important, very active in your body, but nobody talks about how it might become damaged, how it is inherited, and how to care for it. And that's not all. There is another layer, and this is your microbiome. Your microbiome is all the other organisms on which you depend. The flora in your gut, on your skin. It turns out that most of the protein production on which your body depends isn't even controlled by your nuclear DNA or your mitochondrial DNA. It is controlled by your microbiome, the microorganisms in which you live in a mutualistic symbiosis. You depend upon them, they depend upon you. And what controls that? Diet is a big one. Diet is another source of mitochondrial health, but not the only one. There is also exercise. Because mitochondria is related to energy production, how you use your energy and care for your mitochondria may control the rate at which you age. You can change your microbiome fast. You can't control the mitochondrial DNA that you inherited from your mother, but you can control the rate at which it decays. And you can control your epigenetic layer, even if you can't control what you inherited in your nuclear DNA. So when I say your DNA, where it comes from and how to change it, I'm not just talking about this. I'm talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 different layers.